Welcome to Spirit Baby Radio. You are about to join a frequency that will open your mind, expand your heart, and activate your spirit. Thank you for joining Kelly Meehan, Spirit Baby Medium and Master Energy Therapist. Kelly believes in the power of the Spirit Baby. She speaks with babies in spirit before life, in the womb, and after life. She supports, teaches, and guides others to tune into the intuitive and mystical parts of life for greater wisdom. Join her in meeting your soul baby and build your connection and relationship with deep love and trust. Welcome to Spirit Baby Radio with your host, Spirit Baby Medium, Kelly.
Welcome to episode 153, December 9th, 2022, Speaking with Spirit Baby. Whisper, messages, and conversation. What does Spirit Baby or babies need from you? How do you listen and allow connection? What are you doing wrong? What do you need to do right? And how does your Spirit Baby or baby send you messages? There's a lot in that title, isn't there? Speaking with Spirit Baby, I say whispers, messages, conversations, of course, connections, communication. And wherever you are, we are here now in December, and this is very interesting. I have high energy these days. I'm doing a lot of light therapies, phototherapies, which I'm going to share actually in the next 2 weeks in another podcast because it's been so transformational. And I feel like this newer kind of therapies and offerings is such an advanced technology, stem cell technology, enhancing of electromagnetic fields without data in your body, without plugging devices in, and I do feel like it can be very healing and helpful towards the conception, even into pregnancy journey. And so more about that later, but I'm here, and it's I usually am looking at my window into the bright sky, and yet it is evening, it is darkness. And it's just fascinating because I'm usually recording or doing live podcasts at different times of the day, typically when the sun is bright, and yet there's just the winter time, the winter solstice is not so far away, and that darkness is very rich and brings up a lot, right? It's like our bodies want to go into a bit of hibernation in this part of the world, I should say, over here in California, in the United States. And it does. It brings a different, those sacred times of light. How light is so important for us. Light is what helps us thrive. We are light. And not only are we light, but our baby beings are light. And many have come to understand, and something that I've even seen too in a video, actually there's a YouTube where when conception happens, it's been captured where the egg and sperm come together, it sparks, there's light. And so just being with that energy, it's like there's so much light to be had. We're light, baby's light. Conception is light, and there's so, it's just, there's a beauty in that light energy. And yes, we can go into fear and darkness and shadow and pain and suffering. But I know as we are accelerating into our light body more and more, we get to see a different world, to be honest. We get to really experience a very easeful, healing part of our heart, a very calming of our own nervous system even, because with an acceleration of light, I feel like our bodies are meant to be mostly light. Our bodies are not meant to be sponges of toxicities, right? Because I feel like that. I feel like I've been the sponge, like just sopping up all the heavy metals and all the chemicals and, sopping up even the emotional, mental, brainwashing, electromagnetic field, the emotional energies, even emotional toxicities can be really big, right? And the traumas that get infused in that. And so there's like layers. I don't really make it sound very desirable to be human right now, but, I feel like we're learning how to be so conscientious of where our health is, where our wellness is, but also where our spirit body is. And it's not just about worshiping to some invisible higher power. It's really being in relationship with our own light self, with our own source, with our own infiniteness. And I do feel like that's often misinterpreted or not talked about, or someone's got to give me instruction. And I want to tell you right now, The instructions that you seek so badly and needing that internal, external worship is really you. You are the force of light. You are the divine. If anything, we human beings should be worshiping each other because we are such an embodiment of love. And love is a creative force. And maybe you are on a very challenging conception journey, maybe going 2, 3, 5, 10 years. And I'm not going to just be like, yeah, that's a long time to not be in that space that you feel so connected to as mother. Where is your spirit child? Why aren't they here? What is being asked of you in this time? I feel like it's important to be in deep self-reflective questions, even if it brings up stuff. You may be questioning so many more things, and I get so many questions every week from a lot of heartache, especially miscarriage. Where's baby? They were here, gone, there's death, there's life. What did I do wrong? How do I do it right? What else do I need? What does baby need from me? Right? This is where we go into, what does baby need from me? Because they're a soul, and they're not here. And of course, there's so many more different layers to that, right? There's not the perfect answer. And yet you go deeper inward. You listen to your own heart space, with sometimes answers coming through in each moment, and other times really a frustration and a need for some really just defined answer. Baby, please tell me, where are you, what's happening, what's going on? And yet I want to challenge you to drop into your body, to feel the ease of your mind, to feel the softening of any tension around your temples, to feel even a softness around your cheekbones and throat. Can you do that? Can you feel into your body, your shoulders, your arms, your heart, your back, your belly, all those organs, your rib cage, your diaphragm? What about moving further? Where's your pelvic floor, your sit bone? What does it feel as you sit and you're tuning in? Can you hear my voice, and can you hear your own body? Moving further down, feeling that connection to your thighs, your knees. Maybe you're even touching your body. Maybe you need that connection. Maybe you're noticing your breath, your feet. Where are your feet? Are they touching the floor? Are they in socks? Are they covered? What is this? What is this embodiment that I'm asking of you right now? And I do feel like that embodiment connection, and I'm going to share actually in the new year a lot more about that. What does it mean to really be embodied? And how can you hold accountability to entering into the spaces from away from the mind of mental energy into embodiment? And so it's easier for some, others really deeply challenging. And what I've learned to do for myself in embodiment, it's definitely a practice, not an overnight fix. But the rewards of moving into your nervous system, listening to your body, will be very plentiful and very joyful. Maybe not at first. When we get disconnected, ignored, or frightened, or unsafe by our bodies, we just go around living in an upper space of mental energy. And people can live forever in mental energy, but I'm sure that you do not want that, because you're here, you're tuning in and listening, going, no, there's something else to this connection of body. And what I've learned is that I always used to think anybody can be embodied, and then I realized how it could be very challenging. And then I realized that I read energy as though you read a book on a paper that has words, or you look at a math equation and figure it out. I see energy like that. I see it like Neo from the Matrix, let's say, where he sees everything in codes. I see the world like that. I always have, and especially in the past, my gosh, I would say almost a decade of really going deeper into the spirit baby world and going deeper into my own supernatural awareness. And so seeing the world in energy, I realized that when I when I'm embodied and I'm reading my body. That's what I've discovered. And it makes me laugh because I didn't realize that until not too long ago. I was like, oh, that's why I get so much information. That's why I hear things. And, of course, the aches and pains call me. This is what our aches and pains do. Our physical pain is emotional heartache. There's no separation. And so if you have major body pains, there's something going on in the emotional energy for sure. And so I want to shift back into now you're in this embodiment space, and then you move into connection, your own meditative space. And embodiment and meditation are not the same. And then how do you then, your baby, right, and whether you're in conception, pregnancy, or healing loss, your spirit baby, your spirit child, your child of light, they want actually the best for you. There's nothing negative, harsh, critical, judgmental, fearful from that connection of light. And there's something deeper. And I challenge you to look at your sense of embodiment. I even challenge you to look at how you were born as an embryo into a fetus, into life of the womb. And I challenge you to rebirth yourself somehow, to then move into the layers that are maybe feeling that are inhibiting the journey. Because you then again must question, what is awakening you? What is this awakening connection about? Because I think the most gentle, loving thing that you can do is to see the journey with awakened eyes. That you are not imperfect, you are not damaged. Babies are working their way into our consciousness with different frequencies all the time. And you may have history, you have lineage, you have ancestral ties and connections, and you are healing those jagged edges, we'll say. You're doing it. I know you are doing it. I've seen it with people countlessly. You're doing it and just being who you are and just showing up to the world and remembering where your heart is. And in that there is healing. And it doesn't matter, remember, you can have the most imperfect uterus. You can have anomalies, dysfunctions, and of course you can be told by different fertility clinics that are, biology, science-based, the limitation is a real thing, that you are diagnosed with infertility. Because that stamp of infertility just means I don't know. Wouldn't that be interesting if they said that instead of calling someone infertile? Saying, I don't know. You have I don't know. I mean, we have to bring some lightness to it, right? Because it's really, that's the truth of it. It really is I don't know. And so, but you're feeling, if you get that big stamp of, like the scarlet letter, like stamped onto your clothes, infertile, it just feels probably unfair and not realistic. And so the I don't know is okay because you are entering into a spiritual realm of your healing. And you're restructuring where that energy of quantum you exists so you can co-create in that fertile field. And don't let those words make you feel like, whoa, where am I going with that? It's like you can ground into a quantum being. You are that. And if you are in lack of relationship with your quantumness, it's because you've forgotten. That's all. And so now your baby is taking you into a remembrance, I would even say. Remembering who you are, that you are instinctual. You are a frequency toned to creation. And how is your baby beings, how are they coming to you? Are they coming through some high-level outer world technology, through intervention? I do feel like these interventions can be very from other realities of consciousness, and they're quite brilliant how we bring them into this atmosphere. And are those great opportunities? And are they opportunities or abuse? Because yes, the reproductive technologies can be highly abused. And so there's soul searching that must go before one enters, I feel, into any type of intervention. Of course, starting with natural conception as best as you can, and not running through age or different anomalies that may not even be true to the journey of the heart. Because intervention doesn't promise anything. And so this is where we have to go into the soul of who we are connect in that deep way, do the inner work, whether through private, meditation, through healing support, through group work circles, through, listening to tuned in frequencies, podcasts. Even books can be really helpful, but there's not a lot on the spirit baby topic, right? There's a lot of ideas and philosophies, and yet I feel like nobody's really speaking about coming back into the heart of you on the journey instead of trying to figure out whose fault it is or who should we blame, or that we're all set up here and everything has everything to do with baby energy, but does it really? And that's like, to me, is saying that, and I've heard that a lot lately. It's like, well, then are you a victim of becoming parents? What about people that don't want to become parents? Are they a victim of something that wasn't connected or not wanting to happen? And does that baby then make a choice against your own will? I mean, it's just, again, I'm throwing this energy out here because I do feel like we have to challenge things. We have to move into unknownness because we may not always have the answers that we think we have or that we need to seek, or this person says this sounds pretty good, I'll go with that. And we can do that. I think a lot of spiritual beliefs are founded on that. And there are some spiritual baby-isms that have become more true, but it doesn't actually make it true for every single person. And that is where I come in. I feel like we need to constantly challenge our consciousness, especially within spirit baby connections and communication. Because if you met my work in 2015, it's different than it is in 2020, almost 2023. And thank goddess it is, because I want to evolve with this space. I want to move into more awareness to what it is that I can bring in this frequency of life, of these beings coming into creation constantly. Every moment a baby is born, really, and that energy of light, just an expression, a burst of connection. And some here for a little amount of time in the womb space, some here for a little time on Earth even. And constantly, though, there's energy around this conception space, this conception field of you. And so as you are expanding into wherever you are in your journey, you have to remember, and I feel like I've said this before, is that you're awakening to different parts to the connection of you. And there's no wrong way to do that. And when you're speaking to your child or children in light, what words do you whisper to them? What prayers or mantras feel satisfying in your connection to you? And what messages and conversations are you open to be with and have? And can you even allow your own psychic energy to expand? And psychic not as some airy-fairy, some weird psychic thing, psychic as in the instinctual part of you. Psychic energy doesn't have to be this out there thing. The psychic energy of you is just purity, it's natural, and you get to feel the truth and normalness of that. Or you get to make it something weird. You have a choice. But, knowing for sure is that your baby, your spirit baby or babies, they speak to you psychically. There is no other way they can speak to you. So you either move into your psychic space with deep acceptance and openness and get going so you can hear where your next messages are, where your next connection is, and listening to yourself. Or you can get disconnected and be the victim and pretend there's nothing. And I know you don't want the other part of pretending, and so do the work. The work is saying, hey, it's time for me to sit in my heart and love myself and expand into these multidimensional truths. And so next time you sit and question, baby, what do you need from me? I need you. What's happening? Are you listening? And are you okay with the answer? And is it the right answer? If you're feeling like baby saying like, oh, I don't like you, I don't want to come to you, you may have to recheck where your energy is connecting with. And you can enter your own vessel of purity in a most protective and safe space, only accepting the clarity of your own heart through that. And knowing, okay, I'm in connection with my baby and they're listening and I'm here. So if you get darker energies from baby, it's not baby. I'm not trying to scare you, but really checking in with what this energy is about and what you're building in that creative love space. And then how do you listen? Remember, the psychic energy is listened to in many different ways. You can listen with your inner visual space, through daydream, through nighttime dream. You can listen with your sounds of inner sounds, outer sounds. You could listen with your feeling, sensing self, tingling chills, emotional energies coming through. You can even be a nighttime dreamer. You could receive things through nighttime dreaming as well. And then maybe you have other forms of communication, as I've shared with the Spirit Baby Oracle, Soul Answers from Spirit Baby Oracle deck. In that deck, it's like I communicate through music, I communicate through art, I communicate through movement, I communicate through, what else is there? I feel like I'm missing something. Through sensing and feeling, I communicate through telepathy, I communicate through visual. There's so many different ways of communication, and your authentic self knows what that is. And I say that because I want you to claim that. That's what I'm here for. You are meant to claim your psychic connection and trust your communication. And the more that you build in the frequency of trust, guess what? Then trust becomes a part of you. It becomes a stream of light energy that's there. And anything that's of distrust or off doesn't have to be the majority. You see what I'm saying? So you can either, everything is fear, nothing I hear is there. It's like, okay, you can totally live there. I'm not going to take you away from that. Or you can challenge yourself and go, no, what if I were to shift my consciousness and energy to know and understand the psychic space as a given, as a truth, as my reality? And so you get to navigate how you want the journey to unfold as the deep intuitive listener. And maybe you're going to say, but wait, Kelly, I was on this journey and I'm getting messages, but it's not coming true, or I'm very confused. And I would question that, because timelines are not what you think. So you may say, well, I really felt like baby was here and baby's present, and I'm sure they are. But then I got my period, or the next month passes by and I'm very confused. And so there's something in that energy, because we can feel pregnant, honestly, and this is a hard one, 2 years before you see the physical manifestation. And that just means that you're highly intuitive and psychic. It doesn't mean you're not. It just means that you don't know how to differentiate between timelines. And most people don't. Because time and space, what does that mean? Time and space, quantum physics. There are many timelines of reality that are here right now, and some of us know that, and some of us have absolutely no idea, but maybe have an underlying sense of it. And so the more you tap in, the more you may see and not understand things so much with your brain, but your brain, it doesn't really matter, actually. What matters is that other part that hears and knows everything so much more. And so yet again, unlocking limitation, being open to receive how you are in connection with psychic awareness. And again, as a natural connection to baby. And as a natural connection to your intuition. So if you're feeling like, I see, I could feel this pregnant energy for a long time, it does still mean you're very much in tune. And realities change. Creative energy changes. And so if you don't understand that time is only here, and there's this urgency of even baby needs to be here now, the time is now, but that's your desire, that's your connection, because you live in a denser world of time. But baby is connected to something different, and something to just be curious with. I feel like in this episode, I'm throwing out all these really, insightful, thought-provoking questions, because in those questions there are deeper, unwinded answers that will come through to you. And I want you to maybe even take some time now and maybe make a list of 5 questions that you have, like, around baby energy, not beyond, why aren't you not here, what's going on, what's wrong, but like, what if you are in communication with me and I don't hear you, or what if I do sense you and this is what it looks like? Really try to expand and break down what it is that feels like it's pushed against you. And it's like, let's say you're dealing with fertility stuff and the doctors are going, you're okay, go have your baby. And you got remember you got the diagnosis that says we don't know, right? It's the we don't know diagnosis. And so take a breath. Thank you for your teachings, your clarity, your wisdom in your own area of specialties. Doesn't make it a truth, though. It just makes it one perspective of that connection you have. And then you shift out and go, who am I? Where am I? And what does this really mean for the journey of conception? And you can play around in all that human stuff and cry and beat your hands around, and that's fine. And then you have to come back to that internalness of you, that light that has a different story, a different answer. And so challenge yourself. Come up with these questions and sit with them. Let them be revealed around you. And so when you over-question your process, baby, where are you? Where's your messages? Where's our conversations? Know that you're in a space of receiving with it and that the present timeline is now in that space. And you have to soften and be in the experience of it, right? That's the part. You have to then go, oh, okay, it's here. And so seeing if you're a broken record, and I don't know if we know what records are anymore, but the broken record of what does baby need from me? What does baby need from me? What does baby need from me? What if you were doing everything you need to do right? What if baby has what they need from you and you're just caught up in your ego of need? And what if you are really listening? And what if even in the big emotions you have, baby does not want to interfere with the deepening of your own soul into this human body? And what if you're not doing anything wrong? What if, again, and then maybe you're going to say, well, Kelly, what if I am doing it wrong? Is there really a way to do it wrong? Because humans are imperfect. And so you are a soul, right? A conscious soul that has, my goodness, many different consciousnesses of reality and living in very many different timelines. You are not just this human body of a cave person. You are multidimensional that even may have other realities of consciousness civilizations brought now into this very moment. Your star energy, maybe maybe more present and other times completely unavailable. And so what if those other realities and connections are in the process of your connection on this journey? And how is it to have a child through an earth body is such a different experience. It has not been experienced maybe in other realities, you can say. And then you're here doing it. It could be new, first time for you, or it could be old. Maybe you've done this before. And so I want you even to receive that today I'm doing it right. I'm not infertile. It just got the I don't know diagnosis. And I'm a co-creative force. I'm a field. I'm going to remember that. I'm going to dip down deeper into my own heart space, beyond whatever this other stuff is, all this drama, and listen and go deeper and deeper with it and let it take me. Let it take me down to the bottom. Let it massage its way through me. Let the roots of the heart contain me, and listen and write it out in your journal. Speak it out with your friends, or I should say someone that, can hold the energy and space of your words, the healer, the therapist, the friend, to go, yes, I hear your frequency, my friend, and I believe you, and I believe how you trust you too, and I love you. And let that energy lift you. And again, today, you are doing it right. You are doing it right. You are conceiving. You are moving into pregnancy. You are birthing your baby. You are doing it right. Even if you feel the past and maybe you're shifting through birth loss of miscarriage, stillbirth, but you're like, wait a second. Just put a little pause in those energies for a moment. Be where you need to be. Grieve where you need to grieve, and love where you need to love. So for today, you are doing it right. And I want to leave you with that deep connection that you are a co-creative field. Spirit baby beings are listening to you. And just keep expanding into that love. Keep challenging yourself if it feels stuck or if it feels unavailable. But yet again, do that tomorrow. Today you are whole and you are well and you are doing it right. So with a deep breath I take for you, I send you off. And I want to thank you for joining episode 153. Speaking with Spirit Baby, Whispers, Messages, and Conversation. And as always, if you like my podcast, please subscribe, leave reviews, join my newsletter. In the newsletter, you get a welcome letter now, yay! And you get a video on Tips Spirit Baby 101, as well as checking out my book. It's a journal. It's called Sacred Communication, a Spirit Baby journal, and also, I have, of course, Spirit Baby Oracle cards, Soul Answers from Spirit Baby, and those cards are for conception, pregnancy, and birth loss, where the journal is for conception and pregnancy. And as always, to learn more about my services, supporting people all around the world in private one-on-ones, online classes, programs, and private VIP retreats, you can visit me at spiritbabymedium.com.
This is Spirit Baby Radio. Thank you for joining Kelly in the energy of awareness, love, healing, and soul communication. Please join the next episode at www.soulbabycommunication.com.